Up everyone, this is your boy Winswape here, and in today's tutorials I'm going to show you how to create this simple shooter game where enemies are falling from the sky and you are also shooting projectiles to meet them mid-air and destroying them. So within some few minutes we are going to create this game. So without wasting much time, let's jump right into it. So for us to be able to, we need to quickly install Python and Visual Studio Code on our PC. So from here you search for download Python, then you make sure that you are getting it from python.org. So I tried using Python 3.14.2 and I was facing a lot of problems when installing Pygame. So you can scroll down here. Therefore we are going to use Python 3.12.5, which is this one here. Therefore, here in this folder, I'm going to install the Python 13.12.5. So we need to double click to open the installation window. Then from here, we make sure to add Python to path and then install. So Python has successfully installed. We can now close the window. And also, let's download Visual Studio Code. So we will search for Visual Studio Code, making sure that we are downloading it from code.visualstudio.com. Then from here, you click on this link and making sure that Visual Studio Code is downloading, just like this one. Then, so let's close it and open Visual Studio Code. We agree to the terms. Make sure that we have create desktop icon selected. We click on next and then wait for it to install. Visual Studio Code 2 has finished installed. We can launch it now and make sure that we install certain extensions. So from here, you make sure that you click on these boxes and this search bar has been presented. You make sure to search for Python. So we are going to install a couple of extensions. Make sure that all the extension that we install under Python is coming from Microsoft. So we have this one from Microsoft, this one also from Microsoft, this one from Microsoft, and this one from Microsoft. So you click on it and then here you will have installed. Then you make sure that you install all these packages from Microsoft. So yes, this is how you can download and install Python and VS Code on your PC. So for us to be able to build a game, we need to install Pygame. So to do that, we need to come to the search here and search for command prompt. Then from here, we can check the version of the Python that we are using, 3.12.5. We can install Pygame by using pip install Pygame. So yes, as you can see, we now have Pygame successfully installed. So before we start building this game, we need to make sure that we have VS Code open or Visual Studio Code open. Then somewhere on my desktop, I have created a folder called Shooter. So I'll drag and drop this folder into VS Code like this. Then from here, I can now create a new Python file called shooter.py. Before we start building this game, we need to do a couple of imports. We need to import Pygame and random. We need to define a couple of constant variables, like the width and height of our window, the color of our player, our projectile, and our enemy, and also the background color. We need to set the player size, the enemy size, the width and height of the bullets. And then we initialize the game engine too as well. Since you'll be providing the score on the screen, we can also give it a font to make it look a little bit beautiful. Then let's start with the main logic of our code. Since we have the width and height of our window, one of the key functions that we need to take care of is the reset game function. By grouping all the starting variables like the player's position, the score, and the enemy speed into one place, we make it incredibly easier to reset the game with a single key press without having to reset the entire script. In the main game loop, we fill the screen black, and for shooting, we check for a key down event on the spacebar. Every time you fire, we calculate the center of the player and append a new projectile to the list. This allows you to have dozens of projectiles on the screen at the same time without causing the game to lag. And also, we use the reset logic to reset the game if enemy collide with our character. If game is not over for the player, we use get press to allow for smooth and continuous movement. And we also use the left and right arrow keys to control our player. Now, let's talk about the spawn timer. Our enemy spawn at the top of the screen at random horizontal position. We are using a spawn timer to control how often they appear. To keep the game challenging, we added a difficulty scaler. Every time your score hits 50 or you have destroyed 50 enemies, the speed of the enemies slightly increase to keep you moving faster to shoot more enemies. When managing a list of objects, you have to do a little bit of cleanup. We look through our bullets and enemies and remove them once they leave the screen to save memory. For the action, we use Pygame's collaborate. It checks if any of our movement rectangles overlap. If the bullet hits an enemy, both disappear and you get 5 points. If an enemy hits you, it's game over. We draw everything using simple rectangles to keep the game performance high. When you lose, we create a simple transparent surface called overlay. This darkens the screen. This makes our game over text pop and let the player know that they can press R to jump back into the game because they have lose and it's game over for them. Now, for us to test the game, you come to terminal, you select new terminal. This will bring up this terminal for you to write your Python and then the name of the project. So Python shooter.py, exactly like the way we name it, and then you press enter. Then as you can see, we can now test our game and everything is working as planned. So this is how you can create a simple shooter game in Python.
So if you were not able to follow up, I have a link to the code which I'll leave in the description. So from here, you can choose to download the file, copy the code, or clone the whole project. If you find this video very helpful, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and also share the link for others. I'll see you in the next video.